All right. Hey, everybody. This is Brian Summers from All Access Pass, where we go behind the scenes with different manufacturing professionals and Mastercam users. And today we have a special guest, Chad Osier from DSM Precision Manufacturing. Hey, Chad, what's going on?
Good, good. It's good to be here, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. This is cool. So, maybe tell us a little bit about DSM and what you guys do and the different divisions of your company.
Absolutely. Yeah. So first off, I'm the president at DSM Precision Manufacturing, which is our manufacturing arm of Don Schumacher Racing. So it's where
Okay.
our engineers come to our racing technology. Our engineers come to design and develop and manufacture race winning parts for the nitro classes as well as other classes, including pro mod and blown alcohol. So we offer a wide range of products, primarily focused on the engine platform, but we manufacture cylinder heads, engine blocks, blower end frames, a wide variety of parts and pieces for the chassis, and we actually manufacture the chassis right in house too. So we're more than just a CNC machine shop; we're also a fab shop too, as
Okay.
far as designing and developing the full race car.
Sure, awesome. So there's a difference between how you guys started, which is more in the racing industry, and now you have the more of the performance products. So take me back a little bit on the history of Don Schumacher Racing and kind of how that started.
Yeah, so Don Schumacher is a legend in drag racing. He started drag racing in the late '60s. He stopped his personal professional career in drag racing probably early '70s, maybe around 1974. Decided to take a step back, work on Schumacher Electric, where he's grown into a multi-million dollar company. In 1999, he decided to go back racing again with Tony Schumacher, his son. And at that point on was the beginning of the next generation of drag racing, not just from a standpoint of being a leader in the sport, but really taking the baton and really building out a commercialized model for having leading teams and championship teams. Don's run every from over the last over 20 years now has run from one car up to 8 cars in a single season across
Yeah,
different classes. He obviously now mainly focuses on the top fuel and the
okay.
funded car classes. But really, where the manufacturing started was around 2005 when he started to buy machines so he can manufacture his own parts. So offering a competitive advantage, right?
Okay.
Having your own technology. B, offering the best quality, making sure that their drivers are safe and making sure parts are going to be reliable. And
Yep.
C, having a low cost, being able to manage your costs when there's only a limited supply base for these parts and pieces for a specialized application, you tend to start paying a top dollar. So those three things were the made the driving decision to bring manufacturing in house, and from there we've taken to the next level is not only manufacturing parts for our own teams, but manufacturing race car parts for outside teams and diversifying into aerospace and defense, which is our latest endeavor.
That's
Our brand, Don Schumacher, sorry, DSM Precision Manufacturing is our manufacturing company, but our brand that we sell parts through is DSR Performance. So
okay.
we're manufacturing parts for our DSR Performance brand, for the automotive aftermarket, as well as defense and aerospace contractors.
That's amazing. It's incredible just, how starting from a base of just racing has turned into, performance parts for other teams, aerospace, and it's just really broadened since the beginning, which is amazing to see. So just a little bit about kind of manufacturing. So how did you get into manufacturing? And how did that start for you?
Well, I'm an engineer by trade. Went to Michigan State University, born and raised in Michigan. Went to Michigan State University, got an engineering degree. Ended up starting in the food industry at Kraft Foods, going around to the different factories, driving efficiencies from a packaging standpoint, from a manufacturing processing standpoint, for mass producing food products. Key brands or A1 and Grey Poupon that I worked on. transitioned over to the automotive aftermarket, started working for Don about 8 years ago at Schumacher Electric, where I became more of a technical sales and engineering role as far as delivering or working with customers to bring on custom products as well as our core product line. So that was really when I started to be more involved in the day-to-day operations of designing and developing and engineering products for the aftermarket, which was a natural segue for me to at DSM Precision Manufacturing, where we had a great foundation for engineering talent and manufacturing capability and leading technology with our partners with Mastercam and Okuma and Sandvik. It was then, okay, how do we take this framework, grow it, and diversify it?
Yeah. Awesome. So you mentioned obviously you have Mastercam, which is great, and we've done some great user groups over there and had some tours of your shop. Just an amazing facility. So give me a sense of how you use Mastercam and what it means to have Mastercam in your shop.
So Mastercam is a staple at our company. It is the only software we use for programming, and we are offered great service from Mastercam to allow our programmers to be able to quickly and effectively program parts, be able to go in, do any changes, modifications to existing parts, and to have an efficient process from start to finish on a product. So Mastercam is we're very hands-on with Mastercam. We right now we currently have 7 programmers which are using software. So again, it's not only got to be powerful for what we do in our individual each of our categories of business, but it's also got to be functional and got to be intuitive for our programming staff, and as far as bringing on new programmers too.
Sure.
So the key is having the power to program sophisticated parts. I mean, a lot of the parts we do as a 5-axis complex machining company, we're holding less than a thou. And we have a lot of parts and pieces now, especially in aerospace and defense, where you have true positioning. So having the capability to have a sophisticated program, in some cases, drilling 160 holes in one operation, right?
Okay.
It takes a lot of power. It takes a lot of computing power, and it takes a great software to be able to accomplish that.
So Mastercam pretty much fits the bill from any type of racing part all the way into aerospace and defense work.
Bingo. We like to streamline our development. We like to give our team, our programming engineering team, a single platform that we can work on and build on. No different. We have 95% of our equipment is Okuma for that exact same reason. Has it's identical controls. So great technology that is platformed.
Yeah, having the platform and the standard platform makes it easier for everybody. So when I was there again, I was impressed by a few things, and 2 things stand out in my mind. And speaking of manufacturing, is you talked about an engine block, or I remember we saw these just giant blocks, just plain block of metal. I think it was aluminum, and I want to say 700 or 800 pounds. So tell us a little bit about that. And so that block using Mastercam and programming becomes an engine block, correct?
Correct. Yeah, Brian, it's absolutely impressive what we're doing as far as technology for the engine program. And the heart of that, right, is our engine block. Our engine block produces 11,000 horsepower, and it's propelling these dragsters from 0 to 100 in less than a second, 0 to 330 miles an hour in under 4 seconds. So it's an absolute engineering marvel. And kind of what you were saying, we start out with a billet 6061 custom forged aluminum block. Rectangular material. It's at 788 pounds, and we whittle that down to 135 pound, 11,000 horsepower nitro burning machine in about 40 hours.
Wow. Yeah. Just seeing that, it's still it's seared in my brain to just amazement of how you can take that hunk of material and turn it into an engine. It was very impressive. So you must have a lot of chip barrels outside too, right?
Oh yeah, we produce a lot of chips.
Yeah.
There's no question about that, and we have great talent that is able to manipulate, and it's a continuous improvement project, right? We always want to offer better performance and better quality.
Yeah.
So our team works is always looking at Mastercam of how we can tweak things, drive efficiencies, cut down cycle time, and whatnot. A lot of what we do now is understanding how we can apply different tooling to our machining process, and which requires a significant amount of programming. So Mastercam is instrumental in how we drive efficiency for that product line, which is another cool thing is we're always looking to make improvements.
Awesome.
And Mastercam gives us that ability to do that.
Awesome. And luckily on the other end, Mastercam's always making different improvements to the software. So hopefully,
Yeah,
you get,
it goes hand in hand, right?
yeah, yeah,
We're it's
it's a
exciting.
great process. So I guess the other thing that really stood out in my mind is walking into your lobby. And if any of the users out there, watchers of this program have seen it, it's impressive. Mostly because there's probably, I would say, over 300 or so Wallies in the lobby.
Yeah, and you start to lose count because DSR is the most winningest team in NHRA history with over 351 wins.
Wow.
Which creating a huge difference or delta between other competitors in the sport. And there's a reason for that, right? We have a great lobby to demonstrate and kind of show fans and the industry like, hey, this is who DSR is, right? We're here to win, and we're here to double down at any point in time.
Yeah, and for those people that don't, yeah, right. And for those people that don't know what a Wally is, maybe you can explain the what it actually is and the significance of it.
Yeah, so NHRA is our drag racing circuit. That's the circuit or the functioning body for our series, and National Hot Rod Association. And one of the pioneers of National Hot Rod Association is Wally Parks. So being the pioneer, I mean, starting in you'll have to fact check me though, but probably in the 50s is when he came to the table and says, hey, let's turn this drag racing that people are doing as a hobby into a professional sport, and was instrumental in creating the foundation for National Hot Rod Association. So naturally, when you win a race event, you win a Wally, right? And it's a statue of Wally Parks, and it's just a great honor, not as a driver, but also as a team owner, to have that piece of not only trophy as a demonstration of your performance, but also the history of, hey, we're contributing to the future of racing, just like Wally Parks has. So it's very meaningful to win a Wally.
That's amazing. Yeah, just
at the race event, it's a big feat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition there.
Absolutely. Just one saying a lot. So seeing a whole lobby filled with them is really saying a lot. So it makes an impressive statement for sure.
Running out of space.
What's that?
We're running out of space.
Yeah, exactly. Need a bigger lobby. So just a few other questions. Yeah, again, I appreciate the time you're taking. This is awesome. Really, really interesting company. But like in manufacturing, what advice would you give people looking to get into manufacturing?
So manufacturing is an exciting industry to be involved in because it's multifaceted. You could be involved in everything from CNC machining to fabrication, into technology and development, research and development, and working for these companies just like Mastercam to continue to innovate and bring technology to the industry. So manufacturing is, in my opinion, is one of the best industries to be in because it's hands-on. If you're mechanically inclined, you have a strong vision, you have the desire to learn and continue to absorb everything that's going on around you. It's an industry to be involved in. It's also very fulfilling. So it's one thing to kind of sit at a desk and communicate and go through the professional aspects of many other industries, but it's another to make a part that is quality and goes into a greater assembly or even a greater industry, right? So that's what's exciting about here at Don Schumacher or DSM Precision Manufacturing. We're developing 11,000 horsepower engines. Well, that breaks out into almost 2,000 different part numbers that we manufacture here in house, but you're a part of a bigger picture, right? Which is we see a lot of draw, and we're constantly recruiting employees and technicians and operators and engineers with that mindset that, hey, you're part of something bigger than just making a widget, right? This thing is delivering 11,000 horsepower, but it's also winning Wallies, right?
Yeah.
And that goes outside of, we've diversified into aerospace and defense because of the same exact thing. We manufacture parts for the aviation industry, jet engine and fuselage. Hey, this thing's going on a plane that is carrying hundreds of people or carrying cargo and helping with supply chain, and really that's how we promote what we do at our company. And that's why it's so exciting to be a part of manufacturing.
Yeah, that's an awesome answer. And if I had to answer the same question, being a part of Mastercam, again, I'm going around to see the end user and the products and parts they make, and to have even some association with it is, to use your word, fulfilling for sure. So yeah, that's awesome. And then a little bit about advancements in technologies and kind of where the business and industry is going. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, CNC is a new frontier because we're able to do things with material, manipulate, machine, add to material in such a more complex way. And CNC and Mastercam, the programming that's driving our machines, is allowing us to do a lot more than we could in the past. A lot of times, most of the infrastructure and supply chain that we built today, that we see today, is based on maybe castings or forgings that we take and have to whittle down. We're at a point now where we can take stock material and machine very intricate designs, both subtractive and additive methods. So I see technology continuing to mold and use material in new ways. We are focused on how we can the machines themselves, how to fully utilize a 5-axis machine, right? Using all axes, and a lot of it comes back to the programming, right? We have now a machine tool that is reliable enough that can deliver the quality and the specifications that are required, but being able to program that to where we can then take plate and turn it into a finished part, plate material, finish and turn it into a finished part, where it would have had to previously use a casting, have a more robust supply chain attached to it. That's what we're excited about. And additive is just obviously really the next frontier of how we combine a hybrid of additive and subtractive to deliver high quality parts.
Yeah, and it seems like additive really has that, it's starting to really mesh with subtractive, and if you can use them both together,
that's where the Yahtzee moment is, when you can combine both of them.
Yeah, and then to the technology part as well with Mastercam, we're seeing different usages of speeds and feeds, materials, different tools that are available, and just maximizing the speed at which the machine finishes up the part and comes off the machine. So we're also seeing that getting better and better.
So yeah, we have a 70,000 square foot building filled with machining centers, and we're constantly investing in both equipment, tooling, and software that's going to drive our progress on offering better parts for customers.
That's great. And of course, Mastercam will continue to invest in Mastercam and just, tool motion, make everything better, easier, and, along the way. So and again, appreciate, you being here, but I have 5 rapid fire questions. So just kind of these little quickies to end up the interview here. And so I'll start and see what we come up with. So the first one is, if you could spend a day in someone else's shoes, who would they be?
At any point in time, it'd be Henry.
Along in history, it could be. It could be
Henry Ford, hands down.
Yep.
Right in the beginning days of the Model T.
I'm sorry. What would you say?
Henry Ford.
Oh, awesome answer. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And this is supposed to be rapid fire, so we won't expand. So, what's your first career you dreamed of as a kid?
I've always wanted to be an engineer. I knew I was always fiddling with things and toying around and modifying and changing and developing. I've always wanted to be an engineer. And what I do now is the best of both worlds, leading a company and being involved in understanding the very details of our business.
Yeah, that was great. And then, so who was your biggest influencer or teacher growing up?
My parents have always been a strong influence. Don Schumacher is a mentor of mine too, who owns Don Schumacher Racing and DSM Precision Manufacturing.
Okay, awesome. And then, what are you most proud of professionally?
You know what? It can be a really tough question or a really easy question. The reality is for me professionally, it's always been able to become and stay a student.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, continually learning. And then
Continue
lastly,
learning.
last question,
You're never the smartest person in the room.
yeah, I'll definitely
Never.
agree with that.
And if you are, that's something wrong with that.
Yeah, then you have
You
to
gotta
learn
surround
something.
yourself with good people.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And then lastly, what's the best piece of career advice anyone ever gave you?
Always knowing when to pull yourself out of the weeds and realign on what your ultimate goal is, making sure the task you do today is going to lead to that goal, right? It's very easy for us to get caught up in the day to day, all the tons and tons of tasks. And the best advice is to be able to pull yourself out and make sure those tasks are leading you to your ultimate goal.
Yeah, awesome. I can totally see that one as well. That's great.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, Chad, I really appreciate it. Awesome interview. You guys have an incredible company there. I'd love to go back someday, maybe for another, Mastercam user group. And it's amazing what you built there, and how it's expanded into the different realms of the industry. So I appreciate you taking some time out of your day and spending it with me, and hopefully we can influence, and people can watch this, and they can get into manufacturing as well.
Yeah, Brian, no, this is a great to continue to drive education on what your technology is actually making, right? What those actual products are, and it's exciting to
Yep.
be partnered with Mastercam to continue to drive innovation. And we're always looking to bring talent in that can work and have the same type of culture that we have here as far as a performance culture, and also being able to learn and take advantage of the technology out there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's hitting bullseye right there. All right, thanks, Chad. I appreciate everything.
Thanks, Brian.
Have a great day.
You too.